I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
You're listening to The Mean Geek.
With a nice concept, but they're doing nothing with it.
Yeah. But, you know, what are you going to do?
He's not training them. You're not seeing a build-up of any of the characters. Like, there's nothing going on in that book that doesn't suck.
Yes. I really don't need, you know, sons of demigods running around. I'm tired of them. We already got Hercules for that shit.
And Thor.
And reverted, you know, Zeus is a damn kid now.
Beowulf.
I think we got plenty of, you know, small godlike beings running around as it stands.
Amadeus
Secret
Chong
Warriors needs to move on. So, are we ready for episode 31?
Let's go for it.
Of The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the edge of civility.
Fire when ready, Gridley.
We're ready. Tell me about your thoughts of Blackbeard, Legend of the Pirate King from Dynamite Comics.
Alright.
You're a huge pirate guy.
I am a pirate nerd, let's be honest. I like pirates. I think pirates are cool. The book starts on a fatal flaw for me, which is it's trying to make a douchebag sympathetic.
I was going there myself eventually. There's too much backstory to humanize him.
You're like, really? Poor Blackbeard only became a pirate because he was, you know, treated badly by previous captains?
Don't care.
And it's not true.
Well, yeah, there's that.
He was a horrible human being.
Because I read that pirate book your sister had, too.
Yeah, under a black flag,
Yeah.
you know, and Blackbeard was a dick because Blackbeard was a dick. That's science, kiddies. Look it up.
That's documented history. And I understand dramatization. I do. But you can also go with the bad seed routine.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be more excited in a book where he was being a bastard?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like if he just took the ship because he wanted it?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The bad seed routine. You start out just plain rotten to begin with, and you just get
Rottener.
bigger rottener. It's just more rotten at that point. It's, you know, just, oh wait, I can have a ship now? That opens whole new fields of rottenness.
You know, even if they go...
Rottenicity?
Rottenicity. I like rottenicity. Even if they go the route of him becoming a bastard by leading back, like, it's been done to death.
Yeah.
It broke new... You know, if you're doing... No, there are no other pirate books out there, for God's sake.
Yeah, this was a golden opportunity to make this thing hardcore and really bring a genre into play that...
Yeah, I mean, what else is out there that's even comparable? Corsair from the X-Men?
Not even.
That horrible Humberto Ramos book with the chick with the huge breasts?
Huh?
Don't you remember the Cliffhanger series?
No.
Look it up, sir. What was it? God. Like Telos? No, Telos was the Mike Warengo one. Maybe it's Joe Madriera as opposed to Ramos. No, Ramos did Crimson, the vampire one.
Yeah.
Joe Madriera had the one where they were like steam iron punk, and there was this female pirate captain sailing an airship.
Battle Chasers?
That's the one.
Oh, God.
But that's the level. That's the level of pirate we're dealing with before this. So this is unbroken territory, and they broke no new ground.
Yeah, we need good seaborne adventure from complete bastards.
And
That's all.
We didn't get it.
Not this time around.
Nope. We got poor, misunderstood Edward Teach, who's going to tie firecrackers in his beard because his captain was mean to him, and he got pulled to sea when he didn't want to
go. Now, speaking of characters that have been beaten to death and not necessarily done properly every time, how did the Batman Dr. Savage special come across to you? Now, I know if you were poor enough, you would suck Azrael's dick. You'd say, I might be able to get some money for it, but it's Brian Azzarello, so I could...
I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree with that statement, first off. But no, I enjoy pretty much everything Azzarello has done, up to and including things that you've hated by him, and you like Brian Azzarello. So, yeah, this, however...
I saw absolutely no fucking point to this thing.
My issue was, I don't like Doc Savage. I had a couple of novels, as you recall, that I gave you for your dad.
Yeah. Because my dad's a nut for the guy. So
I'm not too familiar with how well they did the character. I remember reading the old DC Doc Savage comic a couple of times. And I'm talking the old 70s one. There was one in the 90s, too, that lasted an issue or so. But I didn't feel that it felt like the Doc Savage I knew from the limited bit. And the Batman felt... How do I put this? You remember the year one Batman?
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like it was going for that, but the year one Batman had a theme central to the entire idea. Like, the amateur status and things he did wrong were building the character.
Right.
This didn't feel building.
It just felt like he wasn't good as Savage.
It just felt like he wasn't good at being Batman.
Well, okay, there you go. That's a good point. So this could have been a whole lot shorter. It could have been any number of filler episodes when somebody was late. It didn't need to be a $5 one shot, no matter how big.
You do love that artist, though.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of Noto.
That beautiful Killer book you did a few years ago. You didn't buy, but you like to look through.
Yeah. All this reimagining stuff in the back. I'm like, why are we doing this now? Come again? What's happening here? First wave.
So what do we have?
This thing's gotten no press whatsoever. I don't know what a first wave is.
It's Doc Savage. It's Justice Incorporated, which was a comic back in the 60s or 70s that Kirby did a few issues of.
Yeah.
Who else is involved?
What do they need a new Black Canary for?
I didn't quite understand that. Or the new Black Hawks?
Well, it's confusing to me. I don't quite catch everything they're trying to accomplish here.
So, no, it's a
don't
new
blow
universe
$5
kind of book.
with it.
But you will be buying that line to figure out what's going on or decide that you hate it. So
the new waves, the first wave stuff?
Yep.
No, probably not.
No? You love those 40s heroes, though.
Well, I mean, I didn't enjoy the Doc Savage just now, so I don't think his crew of Ham, Long Tom, Rennie, and Johnny, and Monk are really going to twist my crank here. Justice Inc., I haven't read anything about this, but Jungle Girls, I've had it up to here with fucking Jungle Girls.
If you're going to read one, it's going to be Frank Cho.
That's about it. And this ain't Frank Cho, so fuck it. The Black Canary... Bleh. Especially when they decide to screw with her ethnicity. Which in itself is, you know, if they were starting a new character, make her any fucking ethnicity you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm confused by the whole concept, I'm not going to lie. But I am vaguely intrigued by it at the same time. I don't think this was a particularly strong introduction, though.
No, absolutely not.
So, Age, you have not told the cast of characters the movie I found for you to watch today.
Do we really have to talk about King Solomon's Mines?
You love King Solomon's Mines.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're confusing my pop with me.
You love Richard Chamberlain.
What?
You love Sharon Stone.
It depends on the Sharon Stone movie, really.
You love Jonathan Rhys Davies.
He is the monarch of the sea. He is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
And you love Herbert Lom.
No. What are you talking about, Herbert? What? Herbert? What? No.
The guy from the Pink Panther movies?
And not in this. Well, if Sharon Stone doesn't get naked soon, I'm not going to care about this flick anymore.
I guarantee you're not going to care about this flick soon then.
All right, well, here we go. So, we finally finish up this insanity with 3 fucking issues of Batman and Robin at the same time. 4, 5, 6. They get to confront Jason. He's got him hands down in his sights. They escape, oddly enough.
Now, did that feel like Saw at all?
Yes, it did. It totally did.
How does it feel when your favorite character is being written by a writer that you don't like?
It irks me greatly.
And that, which is not that you did enjoy some of Grant Morrison's JLA stuff early on.
Yes, I did. Absolutely. That's correct. But I didn't know what to do with myself after Final Crisis.
Or even the later JLA stuff.
We've remarked long and loudly about that. So, the horribly abused woman from Pygmalion's Dr. Pig's routine has gotten away.
And her
Totally
mask
fine.
falls off.
Yeah.
What could possibly that reveal down the line?
Well, a fucked up face is what it's going to reveal.
Are you excited to see a further Dr. Pig
No, I'm
appearance?
not. I'm not ready for another Dr. Pig arc. I'm quite happy to leave Dr. Pig in the fucking pork rinds where he belongs.
Now, doesn't Dr. Pig feel like the kind of character that could have been killed off and then brought back in Blackest Night because all they did was bring back horrible Batman villains?
Yes, that's precisely
Except for
what
the
they could have done.
ventriloquist.
That would have fine because I'd love to see him disintegrated. But now this creeped me out. I didn't know what in the hell was going on.
Oh, the
with this
gay
Purple Rain
Spanish
cover.
serial killer?
Riding the fucking Prince bike. The Matador formerly known as fucking Prince.
And what is his name?
The Flamingo.
El Flamingo.
El Flamingo. Gay!
Now, would you ever...
But frightening with the filed teeth and the fucking bullwhip and woof. And he just goes to town, man. He's freaking brutal. What's going on with that?
Would you ever buy an El Flamingo book?
No, I would never buy an El Flamingo book. First, because you wouldn't get his own book, because this isn't the early 70s again. Joker is not getting his own, but they don't give supervillains their own books anymore.
They really should. Didn't I give you almost a complete run of the Joker?
Yes, and they're safely tucked away.
One of the highlights of my collection from your point of view.
Absolutely correct. But, wow, his point was to come in, beat shit up, and wander off. He didn't even say anything, man.
Dude, he's El Flamingo. What's he got to say that you want to hear?
He could have said something.
I'm sure he could have.
But at least he runs off Jason, and I'm happy with that, because the less I have to read about Jason, the better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck a Jason Todd. There's a reason people wanted him dead. There's a reason he ended up actually dying. And from my perspective as a long-term Batman fan, there is no reason he should be back. So, fuck Jason Todd. Fuck him in his ear.
The thing that's confusing about the whole thing is that Hush brought Jason Todd back, but then revealed it was Clayface pretending to be Jason Todd. So here you get this phenomenal storyline.
Show up?
And then suddenly they're like, you know what? Let's actually bring him back because the fake one turned out to be a good storyline.
He was really popular. Even no, bye. Forget it. King Solomon's Mines. Why am I watching this? Why do you even own this? Seriously.
I found it for $5 when I found Ice Pirates, and I'm like, come on.
Which, by the way, did not age very well at all. Yes, Saturday, I picked up my comics, went home, put them aside, loaded up a little Left 4 Dead 2, listened to Ice Pirates while I'm shooting zombies. I was imagining that every other zombie was Robert Ure.
Wasn't it nice to see a kinder, gentler, younger Ron Perlman?
He was a goofball in that thing. Kinder, younger, gentler. There's no such thing as a kinder, younger, gentler. I mean, they made him gay. Ron Perlman.
John Matuszek before Coke killed him.
John Matuszek. Which one was that?
The football player. The
Oh, well, you know I wouldn't have known anything about a football player. Come on now. So, we're starting off the gauntlet with Amazing Spider-Man 612. They're bringing Electro back, a guy who desperately needed a reboot. He needed a revamp.
Got to keep the costume, though.
Old boy has been around for a long time, and he hasn't properly been exploited as a villain for Spider-Man in the last...
They've tried a couple of times, though. In the 90s, they made a couple of big Electro storylines. And the problem is, of course, that he's lame by nature, which is not to say he couldn't be revamped. But this whole political...
Yes, I was starting my next move on that one. One little rag of a newspaper somehow qualifies for a bailout, strictly for the purpose of, plot device. Specifically to set him up for Electro to be, Karl fucking Marx all of a sudden. Or, pick a revolutionary, fucking Che Guevara. Why do we need Electro to be, a revolutionary? I mean, I know he's dying. He wants to make a bigger mark than he's been making, because the mark he's been making is usually a grease spot on the ground where he impacts after Spidey kicks his ass.
Electro is like Mysterio. Like the best storyline you're going to get out of him is not that good.
Although the last Mysterio story, so to speak, in a sense, the last Mysterio story from Ultimate, or was it Ultimate?
The last Mysterio story was Daredevil.
Yeah. That's
and then
right,
that was
right,
followed
that's
up.
right.
That was Kevin Smith writing Daredevil, who then brought Mysterio back.
No need for that part. He died a fine death. That end of the story was just fine. There was nothing wrong.
Nothing stays
with that
dead.
ending of that story.
Bucky is back, sir. I believe Craven is in the works. It feels like.
But I'm getting a huge kick out of the Mad Thinker being everywhere now.
Well,
I like mad scientists who are mad just because they're crazy.
I like Professor T.O. Morrow and Professor Ivo, the Mad Thinker.
Professor Ivo can be fun.
Your hatred of T.O. Morrow is just cruel.
Legendary. But no, the Mad Thinker is a fun character because he's a thinker. You can do it now. Come
Who's
on,
mad?
work with me. There you go.
Yeah,
all he wants is some dough. He's crazy. He invents shit. That's fun to me. He doesn't need a whole lot of backstory. My dad abused me with a cell phone, so I decided to control technology
But
no.
Think about Professor T.O. Morrow. He looks in the future, steals technology, and then uses it now. He's not even a good professor. That's genius. And he uses it against the Flash, who can just knock it out of his hand anyway. He's destined to be like the worst villain in the neighborhood.
But I think Annie's just a douche.
Who?
Annie, the lab assistant.
You know what? Amazing Spider-Man is pretty much writing this book as if all women are evil and wrong.
And it doesn't matter which one it is either, because this one's Wade, the last one was Guggenheim.
And yet, every time you read a woman in one of these books, you're like,
before that was Gurkachetto, or whatever the fuck his name is. Standing on top there, and the dramatics in the kitchen with the $7 for sitting in front of the fan. I mean, shut up, Michelle. Just shut the fuck up.
Hey, never let the chameleon sleep with your roommate.
He's paying half the goddamn rent. And then really, I'm supposed to think that Spider-Man has had a psychosomatic drunk? Really? I'm supposed to believe that? Mark, come on. Give me a break. You're doing wonderful stuff. You've done mind-bogglingly cool stuff. And I'm supposed to believe that Spider-Man had a psychosomatic drunk.
Hey, why not?
Why not? Because it's goddamn Spider-Man and a psychosomatic drunk is stupid. I had half a glass of bubbly and 7 apple ginger ales. I couldn't tell the difference. Bullshit. Apple ginger ale. First off, there's no goddamn
lying.
thing as apple ginger ale.
He's lying to get out of the fact that it was actually the chameleon banging his roommate. Which is just creepy on so many levels.
But why was she refilling his glass with apple ginger ale anyway? What is apple ginger ale?
First off, all women fuck with Peter Parker. Alright? If Peter Parker was in a cafe and your mom walked by, your mom would probably pick up the salt, pour it in his drink. Just because women are naturally forced to fuck with Peter Parker. I don't understand it.
My mom would never do that.
You say that now, but
she would guilt him about using too much sugar in his tea or something. She wouldn't. You say that now, but if she were to meet Peter Parker, she'd be forced. I don't think they choose to be like that. You think Betty Brant's sitting at home like, I want to keep asking him out and then turning him off because I'm actually scared of the mob. Because my brother was Bulldog Brant, the mob enforcer. Do you really think Mary Jane Watson grew up like, I want to marry and divorce the same guy 42 times? No.
No, none of them want to do this, but that Peter Parker is a mutant, and you heard it here first. And his mutant power is getting women to treat him badly. And like sleep with him.
It's a very strange variation on the Black Cat's powers.
Kind of. Which is why they're attracted to each other.
Well, it's only romantic bad luck.
No, it's really not. I mean, the dude falls off buildings. He runs around in his pajamas. He can't keep a job. He has no money. He lives with his aunt. Yeah, I like how week to week I'm either for his lifestyle and he should shut up and stop whining, or his lifestyle's the worst thing ever.
Well, like, it depends on the story. There's a new fucking story every single week.
That is true.
But this Felicia Hardy backstory, it took a lot of effort for me to finish this story.
I just yawned. That should tell you everything I got on that.
I mean, who is this guy? J.M. Ken Nimura. I don't know who that is. Jim? Are they? Is that a typo?
That's it.
Because there's no space in there for an I. But I think he's been reading a few too many independent black and whites.
This whole thing, this is all manga based.
Yeah, and I don't like it. Not for my Spider-Man.
But you know what? I mean, I believe manga Spider-Man, when they released that, was very popular. So maybe that's what
it probably was. So, one more Spider-Man. Change gears again.
Oh, before we do this, we have a special call out from a listener.
We do?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, yes.
So, AJ, I have a top 5 for you.
Oh, no. Get ready to pause while I think for long periods.
You ready?
Yeah.
Top 5 things Goblinita should do.
Should do?
With her wavy-haired baby.
Number 5. Take him to the park to burn ants with a magnifying glass.
In character. Creepy, but in character.
Number 4. Take him down to the sewers to stomp on rats.
Creepier, still in character.
Number 3. Take him down to the dog pound to drown puppies.
Kind of catching a bad theme here.
It's Norman Osborn's kid. The Norman Osborn spawn of a half-demon crazy woman. Where else do you think I'm going with this?
All right, number 2.
Go to an orphanage and spit on babies.
And the number 1 thing the Goblinita should do with Norman Osborn's child is...
Get a Jerry curl for him. Goblinita. Oh, Goblinita. How Harry Osborn
seems
wants
to need
eat
you. Welcome to the Goblinita Follies, kids. Really, you should just change your name. I mean, it's not like Malice isn't horrible enough to begin with.
Menace.
Whatever.
Alright, Sharon Stone is trying to seduce a entire platoon of fucking army guys.
While wearing a men's shirt and granny shorts.
But she is blonde and she is Sharon Stone, so it might work.
Well, back then it would have worked. Now it'd be like, get the fuck away from my fucking gun, Grandma.
So, more of this list stuff. Amazing Spider-Man, The List. Huge damn book. I'm not buying another list book. I'm not.
How many are
I
left?
ain't doing it. I don't care.
What if you bought... Because you said that last week, and then you bought the Spider-Man one.
Well, with this last week, I had already bought this one at that point.
Ah.
So, I mean, Punisher disappointed me greatly, despite JR's art.
Yeah.
Avengers disappointed me greatly because old Clint failed because he was such a jackass. He went up against Avengers Tower by himself.
Nick Fury.
There was a Nick Fury one?
Yeah, and you bought it.
What was that one? Secret Warriors? Yes. Secret Warriors, The List. Dark Reign, The List, Secret Warriors. Yeah, didn't care for that one either. But
And now Spider-Man.
at least I'm digging on the art on this one. I was happy with this. But how did his spider sense not warn him much, much, much earlier while he was downloading all this information from Oscorp? And, you know, as much as we've been in a cutesy mood with Spider-Man lately, where did he borrow the flash drive with little pink hearts on it?
It's best not that. Probably from his roommate. I mean, you know, she hates him for everything else. You might as well take her flash drive. Cover those Britney Spears songs up with evil Oscorp facts.
He almost had him, man. He got him with the unibeam right in the back. If he'd have just killed him and called it even, that'd have been the end of it. But no, he wants to make it public. I don't really understand why the unibeam's shape had anything to do with anything, and that irritates me when they make a big plot point out of the shapes of things that have never fucking mattered before.
Because of where they were located.
In Times Square.
No, on his chest.
So?
It gave different angles, therefore it was different, near different body parts.
I suppose.
Are you watching Richard Chamberlain dance away from bullets on top of the train roof here?
No, I'm looking at the book I'm talking about. That, however, this big, huge, that's a great, when Iron Patriot is just holding his limp ass up, that's good. That's good. I would buy the original art for that if it wasn't $17,000.
It does seem likely.
But, and it just keeps going and going, and he gets away, and he gets into a cyber cafe. Now, alright, I don't know where Dan Slott's been hanging out in his cyber cafes, but I'm not entirely certain they'll let you plug in any damn piece of hardware you feel like at any time.
I know nothing about cyber cafes, obviously.
Well, I know about enterprise computing, and I've been to several cyber cafes, and I don't think they're going to let him do that, and I don't think he would have had the time to do it.
But you know what I did like about this book is it enforces the fact that the real hero is Peter Parker and not Spider-Man.
Yes, that's the very next page, and that's where I was going. He was smart enough to use his mouth without being a smartass to get done what he needed to do. And he swayed the opinion of the crowd while they're watching Osborn decide whether or not he wanted to kill him in public.
How tired of you of J. Jonah Jameson Mayer?
I'm not 100% tired of it yet, but I'm thinking, high 70s. He can go away. There's only so many times somebody can yell at him for wasting the city budget. That's just going to get silly and old. And the guy already, threatened them to quit because he was being such a jackass with his personal vendetta. So, see, That's just bad. Who is this idiot character?
Alan Quartermain.
I know. Alan Quartermain, of all people, is trying to stop a train.
Not trying to stop. He's trying to surf behind it with his feet on the rails.
Holding onto a chain, indie style. And his feet are smoking. And never mind. This movie
I've never
is
been
just
able to decide
too-
if this movie is the bigger Indiana Jones ripoff or the Tom Selleck classic High Road to China. Which, if I ever find on DVD, you'll be watching that
I
day.
think High Road to China might have been the better movie, I think.
But you're not sure.
I only saw it once when I was 12.
How many times
So-
did you see this one?
Probably seen this one like 5 times. It's my dad, man. He loves high adventure. He doesn't care if it's fucking corny or not. If things are blowing up and things are moving quickly and there's attractive women, he doesn't give a shit. I broke my whip upon you. A curse upon you. Guy's getting beaten with a whip. The guy breaks his own whip beating the guy. He blames the guy getting beat. What the fuck? Anyway.
Uh-oh.
So this second story. Do I even give a shit about this second story?
Do you ever give a shit about a second story?
Almost never. Oh, yeah, the Jessica Jones. Yeah, that was... that was painful and boring, really. That's my take on that. She goes nuts because she thinks the baby is dead. She obviously doesn't know anything about how miscarriages work. She just figures, you punched me in the gut, that means my baby's dead. Well, another reason to believe that Jessica Jones is not the greatest, thinking mind on a goddamn planet.
Or a superhero.
Or a superhero. She's definitely not a very good superhero. But the doctor did have a good point. If Luke Cage is the father, that motherfucker is going to be tough. Even as a fetus, it's probably going to make it through some shit.
There's a logic to that. I'll give you that.
So, we finish up the most of the Joker routine on Gotham City Sirens. They don't really come to terms, but they get rid of the fake Bruce Wayne, the former Hush, Tommy. Right? Pointlessly. The Joker shows up, tries to kill Harley, and then there's a backup. Don't care about the backup.
Are you enjoying this book?
Not that one in particular, but Gagsworthy, whatever the fuck his name was, the little midget clown
Gagsworthy,
who was
the Joker's original sidekick,
did amuse me greatly. I mean, it's a 3-foot-tall Mo.
Now, do you
How does that not amuse anybody?
Do you remember, speaking of the Joker series, his series of sidekicks there? One Tooth and Blue Eyes.
I haven't cracked open that book in decades. I'd have to read it. But, it's light. They bring in a carpenter. I don't care about this book. I totally don't. I think Gagsworth is going to be fun.
How many more issues are you giving this book?
This one was 5. I just bought 6 this week. I'll let it go out the year.
Huh?
I'll let it go out the year. I'll call it an even 12. Boom.
And if you're not loving it by that point,
it's over. It's done. None of that shite. A couple issues of Batman. 692, 693. Wherein things develop further with
The Black Mask storyline.
The Black Mask storyline. And the... So, the Huntress is back. Black Mask is back. And the Falcons are back again.
You love the Falcons.
I loved the Falcons in 2 very particular stories.
The only 2 they were in.
Yeah, and that's all I needed from
So
them.
they're 2 for 2.
And they're probably not going to make 3 for 3. Let's call it even. Leave the Falcons alone. So there's dying informants. There's this Kit-Rena person that I don't know. Have we ever been introduced to this Kit-Rena? Katrina.
Doesn't ring a bell. But you know what? I mean, there's Baphomet. There's Katrina. Like, Batman at this point has become such a strange book.
Yeah, they're bringing in way too many characters. I think they need to strip that shit back down again.
And gang wars between supervillains are hard to pull off, and they're not doing this particularly well. Black Mask versus Penguin. Where's the Penguin been?
The Penguin's been around. He's been semi-background for a while. But he's definitely been making appearances. But yeah, I don't care. I just want Bruce back, man. Give me Bruce.
Any word on that yet?
Not a thing. Although there was a pseudo appearance in Blackest Night 5.
Which I'm about to read.
Yes, so I'll leave that alone for you for now.
You know, I was wondering, like, how shocked would you be if Blackest Night didn't bring anybody back? Like, haven't you always basically considered it a way for them to reintroduce a ton of people?
Sure. I'm fully anticipating that. I'm pretty certain that's what it's going to be. But I would be pleased if they left everybody out of the picture completely as well. Because that would be incredibly ballsy. Because
and
everyone is expecting someone to be back.
Yep.
So I would applaud them for that as well. Wouldn't mind that. But they should bring a couple of people back.
Terra Man.
No, not Terra Man.
The Trigger Twins.
Fuck the Trigger Twins. What did I say 4 episodes ago? Huh?
I love the Trigger Twins?
That's not what I said at all. As a matter of fact, I think I entitled it, Screw the Trigger Twins! But did they need to drag Superman, Batman into Blackest Night?
That was one of the more confusing things
I
I've
thought
read.
this was a semi-out of continuity thing. Now it's smack in it.
I didn't understand it. The Solomon Grundy Bizarro fight, that book I did not enjoy.
Yeah,
I
there was
didn't
no
get
point
it.
to that. Why would Solomon Grundy care about fighting Bizarro?
It didn't feel like part of Blackest Night. It didn't feel like much of anything.
And Man-Bat too? Really?
Oh, let's not forget the Frankenstein and Frankenstein's wife. Come on, really?
This was just such a weird fucking mishmash.
Plus, if this book is
ideas and
continuity,
concepts.
then how come Batman's been in it the whole time?
Yeah, that's another incredibly good point. So, I mean, this is just another cash-in. And I'm not above making a buck.
Oh, I know that.
I'm fine with making a buck. But if you've got an established, we do things differently in Superman, Batman in issues 1 through 65, then keep doing them differently and leave them out of the rest of the shit. I got no need for that. Frankenstein. Really? And why does Solomon Grundy kills all monsters? What? What?
This book confused the crap out of me.
And then he pulls out Bizarro's... Well, he's going to pull out Bizarro's heart. But is Bizarro's heart really going to be worthwhile to pull out? Because he's the opposite of everything.
My question is, which side of his chest is it on?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too. And I think we went through this, but what is it with Brave and the Bold and Straczynski and bringing back goofball heroes?
Oh, Brother Power the Geek?
Yeah, a large goofball, very Silver Age backstory that I had no need for.
Do you remember right when DC started doing the whole more modern thing and they introduced Preacher and all that? They were doing the one-shots of stories too, like The Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, I remember a few of them.
Do you remember they did one for Prez, the teenage president?
Oh, God, yeah.
Didn't this feel...
A lot like that, yes. Yes. Now, I like JMS. You know, I've loved them for a long time. Secretly, sometimes.
But not so secretly other times.
But Brother Power? Really? Are they test marketing something here with this Dial H and the Brother Power the Geek?
He wants to play with stuff that's unplayed with. And there are a few things less played with than Dial H and Brother Power the Geek.
So he's a mannequin brought to life.
Who embodied the free love of the 60s.
Yeah, which I would rather, if I was going to see a mannequin brought to life to embody free love, I would rather it be Kim Cattrall.
Oh, thank you. A mannequin reference. Horrible.
Hey, you know, in the 80s, Kim Cattrall was pretty cool, man.
In the 80s, so was King Solomon's Mines.
That's not true.
Neither
you
was
notice
Mannequin.
they never even got to a mine?
Not yet.
Well, we'll see about that. The pith helmet with the drapery on it of the African chief tribe guy.
Awimoe.
Who looks more like a goddamn pimp than a...
Ooga shaka, ooga shaka.
So, I mean, the parallel here with Brother Power and Frankenstein, I mean, did I need that? And the homeless people who are...
Beats Frankenstein trying to wake up Man-Bat.
Yes, it beats that. It does. But he gets better clothes, he puts on discarded makeup and realizes that there's so much discarded in today's society, he must show people there's no need to discard it and it should be shared in a communal way.
The world is not ready for Brother Power the Geek.
But it was in the 60s. How could it not be
But it
ready
didn't
now?
last. Didn't you ever read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Read it? No. Why would I read it? There's a perfectly good movie with Johnny Depp.
I'm ignoring you now.
But Brother Power comes through and he saves the baby.
And ends up
And
back
he
in the
walks
sewer
away.
waiting for a better future.
Burned all to hell and gone. And now suddenly looking very trendy with the short spiky hair and good night Gracie. Not paying attention to that anymore.
I hate how Jan Michael Vincent, J. Michael Straczynski writes Batman.
This is not Airwolf.
I don't think about it. The first time he writes Batman, the first one, Brave and the Bold, he's like, children should never have to sacrifice themselves,
Yeah, I remember that.
which was crap. And we agreed that's not how Batman.
Right.
And then the second one, he's like, I don't know whether Brother Power is a hero or a human. And there's like a 40-minute... When does Batman debate how he feels about things?
He doesn't. If he's actually feeling anything instead of just analyzing it and deciding, he doesn't take forever to recognize it.
No.
He doesn't. He goes, I don't like it. It's a bad idea. We should do it. Come on, Selena. Let's go.
No,
Selena
sir,
is the
don't
only
like
one he's ever flip-flopped so badly about.
Ra's al Ghul once or twice.
Not to any great extent, you know.
Oh, look, there's soup.
They're in a huge cannibal pot made out of paper mache
Surrounded
with
by...
plastic zucchinis.
Oh, man, I have to find the sequel on DVD, too.
There was a sequel to King Solomon's Mines?
Yeah, Island Quartermain and the Lost City of Gold.
Oh, yes.
Elvira.
So, Detective is finally giving us some backstory about Batwoman. And oddly enough,
she's a twin.
Kathy Kane, and I'm tired of reading about twins. Every time you turn around, somebody was like, but I had a twin. And no, from you. I'm tired of twins. Forget it. I don't want to know.
Dude, you've been dreaming about twins for a hell lot longer than this.
Not when one of them can't help me. They're usually Asians when I think of twins.
That's super.
Anyway. So they start doing some backstory. Their father, as we already knew,
Yep.
was a retired military guy. Yeah, this one tells us almost nothing. Troubles in school. They don't want to move. The typical, weird child of military. There's so many times that you read the same shit about kids who have military parents.
Book does feel very barring the giant lesbian painted aspect, it feels very stereotypical in certain ways. Are you having a hard time telling Batwoman from the Huntress? Other than Batwoman likes women and Huntress doesn't like anything?
Alright, yeah, there's that. So, in typical fashion, what? A wet Sharon Stone.
No, wait for it.
That's generally a good idea, but
Wait.
What's on? So they're in this big pot that has rolled down the hill, and now the pot is in front of a pride of lions, and the male lion is now walking into the pot, where they are very scared, and Sharon Stone is still wet. I'm not certain why this is amusing just yet. What are you doing to me? Why am I watching this?
For that very moment right there, sir.
And the lion's just hanging out. He's like, you got to come out eventually, man. I'm going to eat your ass then. I pulled an onion from behind your ear. Get out of it. Turn this friggin' thing off. So it turns out that the kids were kidnapped. One of them didn't make it out.
Nor did the mom.
And that, of course, sets up exactly why Kathy Kane is the Batwoman. The same vengeance of everything else. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to be a military person. Oh, you haven't read that issue yet.
Nope.
Never mind. I'm going to grow up and do mean things to many people.
Didn't it kind of feel like a Disney movie? There's a single father.
Suddenly there's no mother. Is one girl with one parent. Is very Disney-like in that regard. Except in the Disney movies, we never know why there's no fucking mother.
If they only had more comics explaining how the mother had died off due to Nazi terrorists stealing her at the last moment.
You know what? If they did have a Disney movie explaining that, I would probably dig that Disney movie a lot better than many of the ones I have watched.
Lady and the Tramp and the Nazis.
They were Nazis in Lady and the Tramp?
Well, the extended version.
The director's cut. Is that Michael Bay?
Then it would be Aliens.
So what do you think of this Batman Unseen? Doug Mensch and Kelly Jones together again.
I enjoyed Doug Mensch and Kelly Jones' run on Batman.
Yeah.
I am not, however, this feels more like what was that book Kelly Jones did that you absolutely detested?
Oh God.
About the Viking.
About the Viking?
With the radio host and there was a Viking that would go around chopping people up.
I remember what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it was. So the mob hires this guy to make them a potion to be able to steal more shit. Because it's the mob.
The Crusade or Crusades.
Yeah, I think that's it. And the guy goes batshit, just like you'd expect in a mad scientist trying to make himself invisible would do. A lot like Griffin.
Yeah.
Goes absolutely batshit after turning invisible. He decides he's going to welch on the whole give the serum to the
Evil mob boss.
I mean, go out and steal shit and do strange things to people, and Batman doesn't know what to do because he can't see the guy. Is that Batman? Really?
No,
he knows what the fuck.
Batman has heat vision goggles somewhere. Like, I'm not even buying that for a New York minute.
Nope. That's what irritated me. I was like, why doesn't he just turn on his infrareds? He knows this shit. Why wouldn't he have done that? Although Sharon Stone has great legs.
Thank you for sharing.
Hey, they're right there.
Hence why I got you this movie.
We're closing in on 1 full year of Dark Avengers already.
And it's grown on you.
It has. I liked it. I was kind of worried about it in the beginning, but the characterizations have really gone pretty far. And I didn't realize Hand was the comics are just full of freaking lesbians these days.
It is lesbian-tastic.
Every time you turn around, I wasn't going to say that.
You would have.
Eventually, but let me get to things in my own time, man. But no, I had no idea Hand was. Really?
What I like is when they're brought in casually. It doesn't matter that she is or she's not. It's just something that they bring up.
Yeah. But the Molecule Man, Owen freaking Reese, whom nobody has seen for a good 18, 20 years.
Yeah, I wasn't ecstatic to see the Molecule Man. Although what they were doing with him was interesting. Like, if you break it down, the Molecule Man is one of the more powerful villains ever.
He absolutely is. He controls individual molecules on scales that will blow your mind. So, yeah, I mean, he ought to be, but he's got a mental thing where he's not the brightest guy in the whole goddamn world.
Well, he's also got the strangest birthmarks known to man with the weird little lightning bolt and facial
No,
marks.
that was from the accident that gave him his powers.
Really?
Yeah.
He burnt antenna into his face.
But
Really?
At least he got a little serious, because he used to be just the world's whiniest bitch supervillain.
That was Diablo.
The world's second whiniest bitch supervillain. Because you remember when they brought him around in Secret Wars?
No.
In Secret Wars 2.
Never read Secret Wars or Secret Wars 2.
Oh.
No.
Well, 2 you're not missing out on anything.
I don't read anything involving the Beyonder.
Well, I mean, it's Mike Zeck art. So
I do like Mike Zeck.
You could deal for those 12 issues, I think. It's interesting enough. So you've never read the directly live, so to speak, the true origin of the black costume?
Nope.
Huh. What do you know? If the omnibus wasn't $7,000, I'd get you a copy for Christmas or something. But I don't care how. I don't care if it's the size of your coffee table. No book of only 12 issues is worth $70 fucking bucks. That's not proper.
I'm not disagreeing with it.
I don't care what it's printed in, on, around, from. I don't care if they mashed up ancient papyrus from fucking Egypt that the Dead Sea Scrolls were written on and reprinted it. Secret Wars is not worth $70 for 12 issues.
I mean, how much was the Crisis book? 40?
The Crisis was $29.
And that was a better miniseries from what I've heard.
Yes. But, I mean, obviously you had to know a whole shitload more history of the DC universe, whereas they just jumped straight to fucking... as long as you recognized the characters, you did fine with Secret Wars.
Really?
You did. There was nothing dependent on any of their true backgrounds. So, in that sense, Secret Wars was much more tightly run.
Yep, no, never
At
even
any rate.
owned a Secret Wars. I did have a Crisis. I gave you the one where Supergirl died that I found.
Yeah. Oh boy, cats again. So, anyway, back to Owen Reese. He shows up. There's S.H.I.E.L.D. guys in the way. He's just like, look, man, I'm trying to live my life. I want to be alone. I don't care if you are Norman Osborn. Get the fuck out of here. And he made the mistake, Owen Reese made the mistake of saying, hey man, look, I'm not going to kill you. Which just let Osborn say, alright, well then I'll manipulate you in any fashion I please, because you're not going to kill me.
Well, he paid a pretty hefty fine for that.
Yes, he did. He twisted reality around, and he put a Menace version of Gwen Stacy on top of a bridge. And who's Menace?
Gwen Stacy Ida.
Gwen Stacy. That was just poor.
What do you want? You want gems all the time? Hire somebody else.
Goblinita.
Goblinita!
So, I don't... It's the reality thing. He's changing the reality thing. Because
Which,
it's not
you know,
actually...
It doesn't seem logical from a molecule
Yeah,
standpoint.
I'm trying to rectify it in my head, and it's not working. Although you could theoretically say, all right, he's manipulating the synapses in his brain.
I think you're reaching.
That's a bit of a reach. All right, fine. Next page. So, Hand and the helicarrier have no idea what to do about this. So, he's got Bob on the ropes.
Plus, let's ignore all this for a second. Why does the Molecule Man even know how powerful Norman Osborn is if he's been hiding out in a molecule all this time?
Well, he must have been observing the world.
Why? No, nothing about it. He lives in a cave with fake people he made that look like other supervillains he claims are friends.
Oh, and that's another... This goes back to the episode that's about to come out. Molecule Man's costume is, guess what?
Molecules?
Purple and green. Goddamn purple and green. What is it with purple for supervillains? Purple? Come on.
It's all out of people's respect for Gleep.
It's not got nothing to do with Gleep.
It could.
Grape Ape, maybe, not Gleep.
Magilla, gorilla for sale.
He rips the symbiote off of Gargan, which is pretty good.
Gargan venom.
And then he just totally disassembles, Carla Sofin. And he turns Dakin into the Floronic Man.
Well, we all want to be a tree at the end of the day.
Nobody wants to be a tree at the end of the day. This was a damn peculiar episode.
Dark Avengers goes to some odd places. And the end all, of course, is to play even further with Norman's psyche, but this is the kind of book where I'm more interested in the next book than I am in this one, even while I'm reading it.
Yes, because especially this setup on the last page. Because what the fuck is Norman going to do about Hand surrendering to the Molecule Man?
Nothing good.
She's going to get fired or beat or something.
You never know. Every now and then it's like, yeah, you did the right thing, and then they never talk about it again.
Yeah. Well, which is what a lot of bosses do. You did good. Go back to work. Mighty Avengers? You're still not... You're still off on this one?
Mighty is just not, I like New, and I enjoy Dark more than Mighty. Mighty is the least of the Avengers books for me.
Well, I'm quite happy that they're finished with this unspoken arc. Because it was starting to drag a little bit.
Think about it. I'm dealing with Quicksilver, the U.S. agent...
Who just becomes a bigger jackass every issue.
Radioactive. Who else do you want to throw in there to guarantee I don't want to enjoy this book?
Oh, man. Who could... Rage. Come on.
There you go.
El Tigre is in here.
Yeah.
This book's got to go. This next arc better be something phenomenal, or I might have to call it even. Because I can't deal with Clint.
The thing of the Avengers
I don't
is
want to
that-
deal with Clint anymore.
The thing of the Avengers is there were so many good books simultaneously coming out of the Avengers. Now you have 4 different Bendis or Bendis-related books, all 5 if you include Spider-Woman. But you've got him doing Avengers, New Avengers, you've got him doing Dark Avengers, you've got him doing Secret Warriors, you've got him doing Spider-Woman, and you've got Slott doing Mighty Avengers. It's just, Next there's going to be a West Coast again.
No. I'm not buying West Coast Avengers again.
He's already bought Mockingbird back. How Long to the Swordsman or Jack of Hearts or something?
Oh, no, screw Jack Hearts. Wait.
They killed him, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They killed Mockingbird.
They did bring him back. But Hank Pym and Clint Barton, I can't deal with them anymore.
Oh, and you've got Young Avengers floating out there too, which we don't buy. So
yes. Although they seem to be slowly integrating into the rest of the Avengers books. Because Stature was a Young Avenger. And now she's here with the Mighty.
And you've got Wiccan out there and Hulk Thing, and for God's sake, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's getting excessive. But, yeah, well. Alright. Do we want to talk about Victorian Undead? Sherlock Holmes versus zombies?
I want to talk about the second one. I mean, did this book feel like anything other than build up?
No, absolutely not.
Were you intrigued to the second one?
Yeah, I'm going to get the second one.
So I think this book is successful in terms of that, but there's nothing in this book I want to talk about.
There's Victorian zombies.
I want to read more, but there's not enough in this book for me to be like, hey, this is why I want to read. It's an intriguing concept. They do Sherlock Holmes relatively well enough.
Yeah, I think they pull off Holmes himself.
I think I would definitely like to read a second one, but I'm not enthralled with any one thing that happened in this book. It's a filler issue,
which is weird because it's a number 1.
But it's in a sense, it's not a bad way to start a book to make it intriguing before anything has happened.
Yes. Now, why would an extra long shotgun machine gun need both a drum magazine and a box magazine on it?
I just want a fez.
I'm
Bless
sure
you.
you do. Fezzes. You and your monkey thing with the fezzes.
But I like fezzes.
And you like monkeys with fezzes.
Well, everyone likes monkeys with fezzes.
Not everybody. Did you like Dr. Horrible?
I thought that was a fun read. I thought it was a nice addition to the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog movie, which is one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. And surprisingly catchy music.
But I thought you didn't like musicals.
No, I don't, but it doesn't make things not surprisingly catchy.
I would like to see NPH actually act this one out, though, because I think he could have a lot of fun with that, and thereby provide me with a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah, I totally felt that they carried the characters over, which is always my number one problem with books based on other properties.
Right.
You could see NPH and Captain Firefly there. Totally reading those lines. You've got Moist. You've got Dark Horse.
This was a lot of fun. If this turns out not to be just a one-shot,
Which I think they'll do limited things here and there. I don't think it'll be regular.
good. I want them to keep it that way, because if they had to do a Tag and Bink ongoing for all this time, what's it been,
Horrible.
4 years now, it would have lost all funniness by the mid-second year.
Very few books can maintain comedy. The Goon can, of course, but
Would you just snagged a bunch of goons?
I love the
man.
Goon.
You're happy with the Goon.
The Goon makes me laugh. I think it's a great book. The art is shockingly good. The storyline, it's
The
great
Goon
writing.
irritated me. I was confused and somewhat bored. Nazis?
No, if you're talking Nazis, you must be talking Dominic Fortune.
This I don't think I gave you 3 because I think there was too many week skips there.
No, I did not read 3. I read 1, 2, and 4. Dominic Fortune read like every other Howard Chaykin. Yeah, if you read Black Hawk, if you read The Shadow, if you read Power and Glory.
I was not expecting a seaplane to rip apart about 30 fifth columnists, though.
Were you expecting?
That was pretty fucking gross.
Were you expecting him to shove FDR into the villains?
No, I was not expecting FDR to get shoved into a bunch of villains.
Ridiculous. It's a fun read. I always enjoy Howard Chaykin. But, I mean, if you want to talk a guy who covers the same territory again and again...
That's Howard. But you gotta love that the ad in the back is always the same ad with the naked chick standing there on the rooftop. I mean, they're not even, like, doing it from a different angle. They're just like, here's the ass again. I don't feel like talking about Supergirl. Or Invasion. Are we any less confused about Flash Rebirth now? Now that 5's out?
Professor Zoom killed Barry's mother.
Yes, because all Zoom does is come back to various points in Flash's histories, plurals, and fucks with them.
Professor Zoom is now the most villainous villain of all time. if you think about what one villain has done to a hero...
He's done everything bad that's ever happened to the Flash. He's arranged everything.
I believe he's actually Abracadabra's father.
Maybe.
He helped all the Rogues Gallery create all their dumb weaponry. Like, come on, really?
All of it? I don't know. I still don't see where this is actually going to end in the next issue.
My question is, will Barry still be here when this ends?
Well...
And if he is, will he survive Darkest Night?
And should he? That's another good question. Should he survive Darkest Night?
Yeah, it is a question.
He survives Flash Reborn? I mean, I don't know. He's about to kill Iris. Barry may have to do something insanely radical to prevent that or take vengeance from it.
What, like kill Zoom and then we're in the same damn spot we're always in?
Well, you know, if anything would make Barry kill anybody, it would be somebody killing Iris.
I'm not, Zoom's already killed his mom.
Yes, so he's got 2 female-related deaths on his hands from one asshole. So, I mean, that would be enough for me. I'd be like, fuck you, Zoom. I don't need your shit.
Fuck you, Zoom. I don't need your shit. And the name of the episode, kids.
Fuck you, Zoom. I don't need your shit.
Wow.
I'm getting a little bit punchy at 10:30.
All right, kiddies.
It's been a long day. Enjoy yourselves. Pay attention to further updates on the Southern Connecticut Comic Convention.
And then remember, all purple costumes are based on Gleep the Space Monkey.
I'm telling you, not true. Good night.
Night.
I just said up yours, baby. The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.